When it comes to the Kardashian family, I'm sure everyone's familiar with them. This is a reality TV show that ran for 14 years. Among them, the most attention-grabbing is undoubtedly Kim Kardashian. She frequently posts content on social media. She's built up hundreds of millions of fans. Her youthful romance with the famous American rapper Kanye West has also drawn a lot of attention. In 2013, Kanye used a 15-carat diamond ring to propose to Kim Kardashian. 3 years later, he gifted her an upgraded 20-carat version of the diamond ring. But no one could have imagined that this very ring would pull him into a robbery that shocked the world. Even more surprising is that the robbers were a group of seniors in their 60s and 70s. Next, we'll tell you about the Kim Kardashian Paris robbery. October 3rd, 2016 was a Monday. It was during Paris Fashion Week. As one of the oldest and most influential fashion events in history, Paris Fashion Week has always been seen as the barometer for the global fashion industry. Every year, it draws celebrities from around the world to gather. Kim Kardashian was invited to attend, no exception. 5 days earlier, Kardashian arrived in Paris. While having lunch at a famous restaurant, a man tried to run over and kiss her buttocks, but was stopped in time by her bodyguard. She thought it was just an unpleasant little incident during the trip. Little did she know, worse experiences were waiting for her. During her attendance at Paris Fashion Week, Kardashian and her entourage stayed at the Hôtel de Portelis in Paris's 8th arrondissement. This hotel isn't a traditional one. It's more like a private residence serving the wealthy and famous. It has a more well-known name, the No Address Hotel. Unlike regular hotels, it doesn't have a prominent sign at the entrance. Guests typically book through private channels. The hotel has 10 suites, with nightly rates exceeding 1,500 euros. Stars like Beyoncé and Leonardo DiCaprio have stayed there. Kardashian was in the penthouse suite. The suite is a 3-level duplex with 1 master bedroom and 2 guest bedrooms, each with its own bathroom. The top floor has a 92 square meter panoramic terrace where you can enjoy Paris's beautiful night views. The entire suite is 367 square meters, priced at 15,000 euros per night. That evening, after wrapping up her day's schedule, an exhausted Kardashian wanted to head back to the hotel early to rest. But her sister said it was their last day in Paris and she wanted to make the most of it. She decided to go clubbing with friends. For safety reasons, Kardashian suggested her bodyguard accompany them. Keep in mind, the sisters had just jokingly discussed what to do in case of an emergency not long ago. Who would have thought those words would come true that very night? Where she stayed and her schedule. Around 2:56 a.m., Kardashian had just returned to the hotel not long before. She was lying in bed, getting ready to wash up and rest. Suddenly, she heard someone moving outside the door. She thought her sister was back from the club, so she called out, "Hello?" But no one responded. Her instinct told Kardashian that someone might have broken into the room. She instinctively grabbed her phone to call the police, subconsciously dialing 911. But she forgot she was in France, where the emergency number isn't 911. Kardashian then thought to call her bodyguard. At that moment, through the bedroom door crack, she saw the suite's main door had been opened. 2 men in police uniforms were holding down another man in hotel staff uniform, standing in the hallway. The staff member looked very nervous, as if something bad had happened. She immediately realized something was wrong and suspected the two weren't real police. But before she could connect the call to her bodyguard, they had already burst into the bedroom. The two men in police uniforms were speaking French, but Kardashian couldn't understand a word. She only saw they had weapons in hand. Terrified, she started crying and begged them not to come closer. Faced with the language barrier, the robbers could only repeat "ring" in broken English. Seeing this, the hotel staff offered to act as translator for both sides. He told Kardashian the two men wanted the ring. Kardashian instantly understood their intent. It was the 20-carat diamond ring Kanye had given her. To save her life, she couldn't think about much else. She told the two robbers the ring was on the table. Take it yourselves. Clearly, after getting the ring, the two robbers weren't satisfied. They showed no intention of leaving. They continued signaling money to demand cash. Kardashian said her wallet only had 1,000 euros in cash left. The hotel staff, hearing this, also got tense. They couldn't imagine what would happen if the robbers didn't get enough money. Out of sheer fear, Kardashian screamed again. She pleaded with them not to hurt her, saying she had children and a family. She was willing to hand over everything they wanted. The two robbers didn't speak, walking to the bedside. Kardashian felt extremely uneasy, fearing for her personal safety. She sobbed uncontrollably. But the robbers only restricted her movement, taking her into the bathroom. Then the two robbers started rummaging through suitcases and cabinets for jewelry. Just then, Kardashian's phone suddenly rang. The hotel staff seized the moment and immediately said, "Do you know who's calling? It's her bodyguard. If she doesn't pick up, her bodyguard will soon come here with the police." Fearing capture, the two robbers quickly grabbed the jewelry, held the staff, and left. After confirming the robbers were gone, Kardashian managed to break free from her restraints. She immediately went downstairs to seek help from her stylist. The other person said they had already called her bodyguard. Then the two ran to the balcony and hid in the bushes together, waiting for rescue. Soon, the police, bodyguard, and Kardashian's sister all appeared in the room. Having just seen people in police uniforms committing the crime, her emotions hadn't fully settled. Kardashian couldn't determine if these were real police. Her sister comforted Kardashian, saying the stylist downstairs heard unusual noises. So they texted, "Who's with Kim Kardashian? I just heard her say, 'Take what you want.'" Coincidentally, a few days earlier, Kardashian and her sister had chatted about what to do if robbed. Kardashian had said the same thing, so upon receiving the message, her sister immediately understood what was happening. She told the bodyguard to quickly call and confirm Kardashian's safety and report to the police. After Kardashian's emotions calmed a bit, she described the entire process to the police. She then immediately canceled her planned itinerary and flew back to the US on a private jet. Kanye West's reaction and the value of the stolen items. Meanwhile, Kardashian's husband Kanye was performing in New York. Upon learning his wife had been robbed, he immediately stopped the show. On stage, he gave a brief explanation. "Sorry, family emergency, I have to stop the performance." Then he hurriedly left the stage to meet up with his wife. After Kardashian left Paris, the police investigation continued intensively. According to the inventory, the two robbers stole 13 pieces of jewelry in total, including that 20-carat diamond ring, 2 diamond-encrusted Cartier bracelets, a gold diamond Jacob necklace, a gold Rolex watch, and other items. Total value around $10 million US. because the case not only involved a global celebrity and a huge amount, but also occurred in the upscale and secured 8th arrondissement. And right during Paris Fashion Week, within hours of the incident, the case caused a nationwide sensation. Paris police quickly dispatched the organized crime unit to investigate. This is Paris Police's elite department for handling organized crime. They specialize in investigating armed robberies, burglaries, kidnappings, and other high-risk cases. Crime scene investigation. The police conducted a careful survey of the scene and found no signs of forced entry, nor any traces of a struggle. But there were obvious signs of rummaging. Drawers and safes were opened. Plastic zip ties and duct tape were left at the scene. No suspicious fingerprints or footprints were collected. This hotel emphasizes privacy highly. Without a key, it's hard to enter a guest room without leaving traces. Initially, police suspected internal hotel staff. The staff member who appeared with the robbers in Kardashian's room naturally became the first suspect. This staff member's name is Abdul Rahman, from Algeria, who studied for a PhD at Sorbonne University in Paris. He claimed to be the on-duty guard that night when the incident happened. After the robbers left, he was first discovered by Kardashian's bodyguard. At the time, he was lying in the first-floor stairwell, handcuffed. Abdul Rahman told police that around 2:35 a.m. that night, 3 men in police uniforms came to the hotel asking him to open the door. He didn't think much and opened the hotel door. Unexpectedly, they immediately subdued him. Abdul Rahman thought police were investigating a case and quickly said he was staff there. The 3 men ignored him and directly asked where the hotel's surveillance cameras were. That's when he realized they were fake police. Seeing they had weapons, he didn't dare resist. He had to say there were no cameras and no other guards on duty. The 3 robbers threatened that if he lied, it would be bad for him. In fact, Abdul Rahman wasn't lying. To ensure guest privacy, the hotel's only surveillance camera was installed behind the main door. But due to age, it had been out of service for years. Nights had only him as the patrolling staff. It took him several minutes to convince the robbers he was telling the truth. He said he had no other choice and wouldn't lie. Abdul Rahman tried to persuade the robbers to abandon the robbery plan. He said many bars in Paris closed between 2 and 3 a.m. Many guests would soon return to the hotel, and they all had strong bodyguards. It would be hard to rob. The 3 robbers didn't give up. Instead, they pushed him into the stairwell. They turned away to discuss the next steps. A few minutes later, the robbers pulled him out of the stairwell. They directly asked, "Where's the rapper's wife?" To buy time, Abdul Rahman played dumb. He said he was a night guard and didn't know what a rapper was. The robbers didn't realize Abdul Rahman was fooling them and threatened him again. He was forced to get the spare key to Kardashian's room from the front desk. Then, 2 of the 3 robbers controlled him and went to Kardashian's room together. The remaining one stayed downstairs on lookout. Under the robbers' threats, Abdul Rahman used the key to open the door. The robbers entered to rob. After the bodyguard called, the 2 robbers got scared and fled immediately. But before leaving, they didn't forget to take Abdul Rahman downstairs with them. At this point, Abdul Rahman noticed that besides the lookout robber at the hotel entrance, 2 new robbers had appeared, meaning the gang had at least 5 people. Then they tied Abdul Rahman's feet too and pushed him into the stairwell. The 5 robbers quickly fled the hotel. 5 minutes later, Kardashian's bodyguard appeared and helped untie his finger restraints. Because Abdul Rahman's statement matched the bodyguard's, the investigation found he didn't receive any stolen goods and had no other abnormalities. His suspicion was quickly cleared. Abdul Rahman told police the 5 robbers were all in dark clothing, faces covered, unable to see their appearances. But from the conversation, they could tell they spoke French with some accent. Since the description was too broad, they couldn't directly pinpoint suspects. police took the plastic zip ties and duct tape found at the scene back to the station for DNA sampling, hoping to find a breakthrough from there. Evidence from surveillance and new discoveries. Meanwhile, since the entire hotel had no usable surveillance footage, it was hard to judge the robbers' escape direction, so police pulled surveillance from nearby streets and warehouses. They found a black luxury sedan passing the hotel multiple times that early morning, raising suspicions. After investigation, it was unrelated to the case. The day after the incident, a resident picked up a platinum diamond-encrusted cross pendant near a street sewer outside the hotel. They turned it over to police. After confirmation, this was one of Kardashian's lost pieces of jewelry, valued at $30,000. Police believed this was deliberately dropped by the robbers. The purpose was to make them think the robbers were inexperienced criminals. In reality, this group of robbers had very clear targets and acted swiftly, indicating professionals. Then, police focused on reviewing surveillance footage from the street where the jewelry was dropped. They found at 2:19 a.m. on the day of the incident, 3 people on bicycles and 2 on foot heading toward the hotel. From the blurry surveillance images, you could vaguely see someone wearing a vest similar to police uniforms. At 3:07 a.m., 5 people returned from the hotel direction in the same way. One of them had a plastic bag hanging on the bike handlebars. It's speculated the jewelry fell from that plastic bag onto the street. Initially, police thought the robbers fled the scene in that black luxury sedan. Unexpectedly, they used such a simple method to steal jewelry worth millions. Some media speculated this robbery was the work of the Pink Panthers. The Pink Panthers are a notorious transnational crime organization, specializing in robbing jewelry from luxury malls worldwide, known for unusual escape methods. However, when the real suspects surfaced, media and the public were all shocked. Arresting the suspects. Not long after, the case had a major breakthrough. Police found trace skin tissue on the plastic zip ties and duct tape edges left at the scene, from which they extracted DNA. Comparing this DNA to the national database quickly locked onto a suspect. This person was named Almar 8 Kadashi, 60 years old at the time, nicknamed Old Omar from Algeria. He had been arrested multiple times before for robbery. 6 years before the incident, he was prosecuted for selling contraband and became a wanted fugitive. To evade punishment, he lived under a false identity until then. Locking onto Almar 8 Kadashi gave police hope for solving the case. But they didn't dare act rashly, hoping to follow the vine to the melon and catch the entire robber gang. Investigation found Almar 8 Kadashi activated multiple prepaid temporary phones the day before the incident. They secretly monitored these phones and intercepted key calls where he recruited accomplices and gave orders. Through monitoring, police figured out the entire crime gang's members. 3 months after the incident, they arrested 17 suspects across the country, including 14 males and 3 females. After investigation, 5 were unrelated and released. The remaining 12 were prosecuted. Among the 12 prosecuted, only 5 actually went to the hotel to carry out the robbery. Their ages were mostly 60 to 70, hence called the Grandpa Robber Gang. Among them, 60-year-old Omar 8 Kadash was the planner of the case, responsible for assembling the gang and arranging lookouts. He was one of the robbers who entered Kardashian's room. 39 years before the incident, he was first imprisoned for robbery. Afterward, his pregnant wife died in a fire. Unable to accept it, he had a mental breakdown and underwent electroshock therapy, leading to hearing issues. After release, he remarried a single mother. His son also participated in the case but didn't enter the hotel, responsible for assisting the five in withdrawing after the incident. Yunus Abbas, 63, had multiple prior convictions. In this case, he served as lookout, responsible for guarding the hotel entrance. It was him who accidentally fell on the way back, dropping the jewelry on the street. Didier Dubruck, 62, nicknamed Blue Eyes, was formerly a plumber, had multiple theft and robbery convictions totaling 23 years in prison. In this case, responsible for entering Kardashian's room to commit the crime. Floris Halla, 72, was once a criminal specializing in selling contraband, participated in the planning and organization of the case. Marceau Duet, 27, was the only younger robber among the five. He was released from prison 3 months before the incident and was one of the five main perpetrators. His father was a longtime friend of Floris Halla. He provided the tools for the crime. The 2025 trial. After identifying the suspects, the case was still awaiting trial. A year before the incident, Paris suffered a series of terrorist attacks, causing 132 deaths and over 300 injuries. France's judicial system long prioritized anti-terrorism cases. Other cases were delayed. Plus, the pandemic's impact, France's court system halted, with severe delays in scheduling. During the long wait, in 2021, Yunus Abbas wrote his experience of the case into a book, I Kidnapped Kim Kardashian. It detailed the case's process and his personal journey. Time came to April 2025, 8.5 years after the incident. The case finally went to trial at the Paris Criminal Court. Of the original 12 prosecuted, Floris Helene had severe Alzheimer's and was deemed unfit for trial. Another died before trial, so 10 people took the defendant's stand. Kim Kardashian flew to Paris to testify in court. In court, 69-year-old Omar Kadesh was almost deaf with severely limited language ability. He could only read the court's text records, write answers on paper with a pen, and project them on screen. He admitted participating in the case and submitted a self-written apology letter. Kardashian said, "I'm really grateful for this letter. I forgive you, but it doesn't change my feelings and trauma, or the fact that my life has been forever changed." In court, Omar Kadash's son said he learned from relatives at age 6 that he wasn't biological, but he always treated Omar Kadash as his father. Participating in this case was to prove himself to his father and gain his approval. After nearly a month of trial, the court finally ruled. Omar Kadash and 3 other main criminals were convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping. Omar Kadash was sentenced to 8 years imprisonment, 5 years probation. Yunus Abbas, Didier Dubruck, and Marceau Duet were sentenced to 7 years imprisonment, 5 years probation. Omar Kadash's son and 3 others were convicted of conspiracy, sentenced to 3 to 5 years imprisonment. 2 others were acquitted. Due to the long judicial process, the prison time for the 8 convicted criminals was covered by prior detention time, so they all didn't need to serve time in prison. 1 month after the trial ended, 69-year-old Didier Dubruck died of lung cancer. The lost jewelry and security responsibilities. The criminals were all punished by law, but the lost jewelry in the case hasn't been found. The cross pendant picked up by the resident became the only piece of jewelry recovered. According to the investigation, the suspect who died before trial went to Antwerp, Belgium after the incident. That's the Global Diamond Trading Center. It's speculated some jewelry was sold there. After the incident, the door guard on duty, Abdul Rahman, said the primary responsibility lay in the hotel's security vulnerabilities. Kardashian's room had only a wooden door and a standard Yale lock, no additional security bolts. He also revealed that 6 years earlier, he had emailed the hotel reminding them to pay attention to security issues. Although the hotel is known for privacy and security, the main door password was never changed. Security personnel who often came and car rental company staff all knew it clearly. Night shifts had only one guard, unable to guarantee absolute guest safety. Additionally, Abdul Rahman mentioned that after the incident when Kardashian left Paris, he became a key witness assisting police investigation. But police provided almost no support to him. He was still handcuffed until around 5 a.m., 2 hours after the incident. Police couldn't open them. What disappointed him more was that afterward, police didn't provide him psychological counseling and even leaked confidential information he provided. This could put him in danger. Regarding responsibility for the case, some netizens believe Kardashian's excessive flaunting on social media made her a target for robbers. 3 days before the incident, she posted that eye-catching 20-carat diamond ring on social media. The robbers also revealed they viewed Kardashian's real-time updates and expensive jewelry online to target her. Impact on Kim Kardashian's life. This case had a huge impact on Kardashian's life and psychology. She has repeatedly shared the psychological trauma it left. She feels fear and anxiety about going out and being alone, no longer sharing her whereabouts and valuables anytime, anywhere like before. Notably, in this case, the 15-carat proposal diamond ring Kanye gave was preserved because Kardashian forgot to bring it and left it in the U.S. The stolen 20-carat diamond ring seemed like a microcosm of their love, dazzling but fraught with dangers. From then on, disputes and conflicts between them gradually emerged. 6 years later, their marriage ended. Sometimes the most precious things aren't those shiny jewels, but a safe and happy life.